time that you accomplished a goal that took everything you had in you to achieve? How did you feel? Happy that you finished your goal? Proud that you didn't give up? Relieved that all of that hard work had finally paid off? We all love happy endings, but the journey to get there isn't always smooth. 4 years ago, I embarked on a journey to train for my second marathon over a 6-month period. Having already proven that I could run a marathon once, now I wanted to do it faster. When I trained for my first marathon, I did the bare minimum of training to make sure that I could finish the race. This time, I went all in. I became a certified running coach to better understand how to become a better runner. I led a training group to hold myself accountable during training. And I would wake up before the sun several times a week, sometimes as early as 2 a.m. on a Saturday, to run upwards of 20 miles. I really, really wanted this. And I was ready to do whatever it took to get it. When race day arrived, I was more than ready for anything. But I was not ready for failure when everything went wrong on race day. During the almost 6-hour journey that it took me to complete that marathon that day, I experienced the 5 stages of grief. And it is through that lens that I would like to share my experience with you. Stage 1, denial. When I woke up at 3 a.m. on race day, it was already pretty warm and humid. 30 minutes faster than my previous marathon, it's a pretty fast, aggressive goal. And I knew that I would only achieve this if I had perfect race conditions. Hot, humid Florida weather, these are not perfect race conditions. But I had worked too hard already and for too long to throw in the towel before I even started, so I pressed on with my original plan. Shortly after the race started, it began raining. Another bad sign. At this point, I should have really told myself, should we adjust our goal here? But in my full state of denial, of course, my reaction was, nah, I got this. Let's go. So I pushed myself even harder for the first 10 miles. And you know what? It worked. I was doing well. I was on pace, which just further cemented my denial. By mile 13, I was on pace for my goal, but then I turned a corner and a huge gust of wind assaulted me. Uh-oh. Stage 2, anger. I was so angry. Wind? Really? Are you kidding me right now? But I wasn't angry at the wind. I was angry at myself because I knew better. I had spent 6 months training other runners and telling them how to run their first marathon, and I hadn't taken the advice for myself. One thing that I always told them, start the race, the first half at an easy pace, then if you feel up to it, pick up the pace in the second half. But did I listen to my own advice? No. By the time I got to mile 13, I was already struggling, but I convinced myself that that was normal because I wasn't just running a marathon to finish, I was racing it. I was all in. By mile 17, my knee was throbbing and my pace had slowed way down. I was so angry that I had been so stubborn, and now it was too late. Stage 3, bargaining. When I realized that my time goal was not going to happen, I started to do math in my head to figure out, okay, can I at least finish this faster than my first marathon? Because that was goal number 2. So I adjusted my running strategy. Instead of running hard for a few minutes and then walking, I would run slow and steady for however long I could, hopefully sparing my knee that way, and then walk. But nothing I did improved my pace. Now it wasn't a matter of, can I finish in my time goal? Can I finish faster than my first marathon? Now the question was, can I finish at all? Stage 4, depression. I was in so much pain at this point that all I had left in me were tears, but I was trying really hard to hold them back. Don't cry, don't cry. Every inch of my body hurt like it's never hurt before. My chest hurt every time I took a breath. My back ached as I tried to hold myself upright. Ugh. Every step that I took felt like I was walking on glass. At this point, I start to text my husband. This sucks. I don't want to do this anymore. I seriously considered at this point to just walk the rest of the race, but 6 miles is a long way to go at a shuffle. So again, I tried to run for however long I could before my knee would hurt. Then I would walk, but now the walking was becoming more frequent and I could only run for a few seconds at a time. It was so frustrating. Finally, I couldn't hold back anymore. I didn't have the energy. The floodgates opened and I burst into tears. Stage 5, acceptance. It was during this low point in the race that my friend Carrie caught up to me. She's just the ray of sunshine that I needed to pull me out of the pity pit that I had dug for myself. She always has a smile on her face, and she told me, if we're not having fun, why are we doing this? Why indeed? She reminded me why I was doing this, which was for the accomplishments. Less than 1% of all Americans complete a marathon, so just finishing was a great feat. We kept each other company for the next 6 miles and gave each other strength, and by the time we got to mile 26, we were laughing and having a great time. I had regained enough strength that I was able to run across the finish line chute and accomplish the most important goal of all, to finish with a smile. I was at peace when I finished and crossed that finish line. How did I feel? I was happy that I had finished another marathon. I was proud that I didn't give up despite all the challenges I faced. And I was very, very relieved that it was finally over. It would have been easy for me after this incident to decide that marathons weren't for me and to never try again. But do you know how do you grieve a marathon? You sign up for another one the next day. That's exactly what I did, and 3 months later, I finally achieved my goal. I had run many races before this, but I had always played it safe. This time, I shot for the moon and I crashed hard. But this experience taught me what I'm truly made of and how much I could endure. I realized that it is through failure that we grow the most and become stronger. So I leave you with this. Don't be afraid to try because you might fail. Try despite that you might fail, because it is through failure that that real growth happens.